Hi, let me begin with a simple question today. Have you ever noticed that sometimes your mind wants to do something immediately, but another voice inside says it is wrong? Then another part of you tries to make a sensible decision. Why does this happen? The famous psychologist Sigmund Freud explained that our personality is influenced by three forces inside the mind: id, ego, and superego. Let us understand them in a simple way. Id, the desire system. The id is the most basic and instinctive part of our mind. It is connected with desires, impulses, and pleasure. The id follows only one rule: I want it now. Imagine you are on a diet and suddenly you see a delicious cake. Immediately, your mind says, eat it right now. That voice is the id. The id does not think about consequences, it only wants immediate satisfaction. So the next is superego, the moral system. The superego is the moral voice inside us. It develops as we grow up and learn values from our parents, our teachers, and society. So the superego asks questions like: is this right? Is this responsible? Is this the correct thing to do? So, in the same situation, the superego says you should not eat the cake, it is unhealthy. So, the superego represents discipline, ethics, and ideals. So, the next part is the ego, the decision maker. The ego acts as a mediator between the id and the superego. It listens to both sides and makes a balanced decision. So, for example, it says, eat the whole cake now. Superego says, do not eat it. Ego says, maybe eat a small piece. So, the ego works like a wise manager, balancing desire and discipline. So, let's just try another daily life example. Imagine someone criticizes you. One voice inside immediately says, reply angrily. This is the id. Another voice says, stay calm, anger is not good. This is the superego. Then another part of the mind thinks and says, let me respond wisely. That is the ego. So, what yoga says about the mind? Interestingly, thousands of years before modern psychology, the ancient sage Patanjali studied the nature of the mind. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, he gives a very famous definition of yoga: Yogash Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So, yoga is the calming or control of the fluctuations of the mind. These fluctuations are called Chitta Vritti. So, the fluctuations of the mind are controlled through practice and detachment. So, what is abhyasa? Abhyasa means regular practice. It is the regular practice of asana, pranayama, meditation, and bringing the mind back to focus again and again. So, with continuous practice, the mind becomes steady and calm. Now, let us know about what is Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment, detachment from excessive desires and emotional reactions. So, Vairagya, it does not mean leaving the world, it simply means not allowing desires and emotions to control the mind. So, instead of reacting immediately, we learn to observe calmly. So the next part is asana. Asana is for mental stability. Yoga also recommends steady postures for calming the mind. So another important sutra in Patanjali Sutra's book is that Sthiram Sukham Asanam, meaning an asana should be steady and comfortable. Meditative postures like Sukhasana, Siddhasana, Padmasana, Vajrasana. So these are the asanas that prepare the mind for meditation. So, when the body becomes still, the mind also becomes calm. So, the next part is pranayama. So, two simple breathing practices can help calm the mind. One, nadi sodhana, and second one is alternate nostril breathing. So, practice for 5 to 10 minutes daily. It calms the nervous system. Also, it stabilizes the emotions and the fluctuations of the mind. Meditation practice. So, a simple meditation is breathe awareness. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, observe your natural breathing. So, whenever thoughts appear, gently bring your attention back to the breath. Practice this 10 to 15 minutes daily. Gradually, the mind becomes quiet and balanced. Psychology helps us understand how the mind works, but yoga teaches us how to master the mind. As Patanjali beautifully said, Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. So, when the fluctuations of the mind become calm, we experience clarity, balance, and inner peace. So, if you are interested in understanding the mind through yoga and psychology, I will continue sharing such insights here. Thank you.